So today we've been joined by John Blakey. You are the Health and Wellbeing Advisor of Fife College.
That's right.
Now, what does that entail?
That entails a lot of things. The remit for my job is quite wide-ranging at the minute. Generally speaking, it's my responsibility to try and make sure that any gap in provision for Fife College within kind of mental health and physical health is kind of plugged, and that one of the things that I'm doing is making sure that we're liaising properly and connectedly to internal and outside agencies to make sure that every student can connect to these services properly and well. So I'm doing a lot of liaison activities. I'm also seeing students on a one-to-one basis for appointments, specifically students who may be having difficulties with their mental health. Quite a lot of the time, if people have seen guidance and other support services, and they've been referred on to kind of a psychologist or someone like that, for example, but there's a waiting list, then they might come and see me, and I might introduce them to some techniques, mindfulness or some CBT type techniques, and just introduce them to what it is that they might be going on to do, just to try and plug that gap. I'm also creating lots of different resources and materials about health and well-being. I've got a lot of referral agencies that I kind of look to, and I help students connect with them. I'm running events. We did a health and well-being event last month, which was really successful. There's going to be the Mental Health Awareness Month in May, and so we're going to be running quite a lot of different things, mainly kind of online things, but there's going to be a lot of different activities and things going on in that month. So those are just a few of the things that I've been doing and I will be doing, but lots of different things around health and well-being.
Right, so mindfulness seems to be a bit of a buzzword these days. What does it even mean? Because frankly, my mind is full all the time.
Sure. I think most people's minds are full all the time. And my understanding of mindfulness, and when I've trained in mindfulness and when I create mindfulness things for people, it's about being self-aware about your mind being full.
And what's going on inside it.
Yeah, it's not about emptying your mind, it's about calming those thoughts. Generally speaking, our worries and our thought process is either about the past, it's about a guilt or a worry about what we've done in the past.
Completely understand that, yeah.
Or it's about the future, it's about worrying about this anticipation of what is going to happen.
I completely understand that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a normal process. And so when you worry or when you're active, your mind's active, it's either in the past or in the future.
Yeah.
And so
It's never in the present.
It's never in the present. And we don't worry in the present. So it's about trying
Maybe that's why it's so special. It's a bit of a gift. That's why it's called the present.
Well, there you go. Maybe. Absolutely. And so it's about trying to bring ourselves into the present a bit more and trying to be self-aware about these thoughts and trying to bring ourselves with techniques, mainly breathing techniques or other kind of meditative type stuff, to just try and bring ourselves into the present a bit more, where we will worry less. And all the techniques of mindfulness are quite simple and can be easily done. You don't have to kind of spend hours a day kind of meditating, although you can do. These can be simple things that you can put in to your everyday life. And it can be 10 seconds a day, it can be a minute a day. There's lots of kind of techniques which are of just a few minutes. There's loads of apps about these things that can help you stay mindful so that your thought processes and your worries don't get ahead of you. For me, my worries kind of sometimes go on in the background. And so I'm not really conscious of the fact that I'm worrying until about an hour later. I think I'm all wound up about something, what's going on? But it's because it's been going on in the background. And so it's about being self-aware of those thoughts and just consciously trying to bring it into the present.
So what would you say is the best day to carry out a routine for mindfulness?
If you're new to mindfulness, I would recommend either getting an app or a book or looking at joining one of the introduction to mindfulness sessions within the college that the guidance team and myself run just to familiarize yourself with the basics of it, and then put it into practice every day. There's a thing called the 3-minute breathing space, which is really easily done. And if you Google that, there'll be a million of them to kind of follow through. We have pamphlets about that.
Yeah.
That's a really simple way to start it, but it can be done in lots of different ways. There's loads of apps and things that we can put you in touch with to get you started on these things. It's really simple. It's not as cheesy as it sounds, although it can be, but there's lots of like quite simple, nice ways to do it.
Yeah.
And for most of the people, myself included, who've started this, it can have a really positive effect on their lives.
So what would you say is the most stressful thing about your job?
The most stressful thing about my job at the minute is that I have so many ideas and I've got so many different things I want to get going, but I'm just one person with only so many hours in the day. And so I am trying to manage my own time and space in order to kind of to bring it back a bit, and also to practice what I preach. There's absolutely no point in me trying to say, oh, you should be less stressed if I'm going around like a headless chicken. So it's about the fact that I'm new in the role and that I need to have a bit of time to get all these things on up the ground.
So take us through an average week in the life of John Blakey.
I don't know if there is an average week, really. At the minute, or at the start of I'm only about 5 months into this role. So at the beginning, I have been kind of getting myself out there. I've been speaking to people in different colleges and universities across Scotland to try and to make sure there's a connection to all that, so that we're kind of, I don't want to say stealing good ideas, but I think it's sharing good practice is the politically correct way to say it. But also speaking to different students in different ways, getting around every campus to make sure different things are happening. And yeah, on a daily basis or a weekly basis, I'm normally at a few different campuses. I'm speaking to students directly. I'm creating resources. I'm making sure that I'm involved in different departmental meetings to make sure that people know what I'm up to. And I'm doing a lot of kind of online presence stuff as well. So I've got a lot of marketing things and stuff coming out at the minute. And I'm also doing a bit of staff training as well. So I go around and speak to staff about things. I train on Scotland's mental health first aid, for example, and I do some suicide alertness training as well. So I'm doing that.
So your plate's pretty full then?
So my plate is pretty full, yeah.
If you could nominate a song for me to play in my live show to help fellow students with stress, what would it be and why?
To fill them with stress, or to relieve them of stress?
Sorry, to help my fellow students with stress and relief.
I think that's quite difficult. I'm thinking of the albums of last year is what I'm thinking about, and the albums and the songs that stuck with me last year. And the Idols album, although it's quite aggressive and quite noisy, there are real stress release in it. And if I'm kind of at the gym or I'm running or I'm wanting to get any frustrations out, there's a song called Danny Nedelko.
Oh yes.
Do you know that song?
I've played it on the radio a few times.
And it's got the chorusy bit's quite chanty, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I
so
think
you can
shout
that
you can kind of get that going.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of gets you going. It's a kind of quite an aggressive song, but it puts you in a kind of happy mood. There's also an album by John Hopkins, which is more tranquil. It's kind of electronic music, and I think that would probably relax people. There's a song called Emerald Rush. That's quite tranquil. I'll look that up. And that might de-stress people on that level. So I know you just asked for one, but I needed to give you two. That's
fine. You can always speak about a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's lots of different songs, but those are the two that kind of come to mind, I think.
Yeah. I've got a couple more fun questions just to relieve the sort of seriousness about the interview.
That's all right.
So if you're in a sweet shop and in the aisle of pick and mix, and you've got the choice of only 3 sweets you can take from the pick and mix aisle, what would be the 3 sweets you choose?
For me, there'd have to be a cola sweet in there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So probably a fizzy cola bottle, probably the big ones rather than the small ones.
So the 10p instead of the 5p.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. You've got to go big, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I quite like the I don't know what they're called, but it's kind of like a white chocolate, and they've got like hundreds of thousand type things on them.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like it's like a white chocolatey thing, but it's got bits on it.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? I have no idea.
I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, I
if
do
you
know
eat like about 5 of them, you feel a bit sick. It's those ones.
Yeah,
I'd definitely have them. Mm-hmm. And as a third one, I think I would probably go for something like a Jelly Baby or something like that, or a Skittle, something that has different flavours.
So you're mixing it up instead of just like 3 strawberry sweets, but
I would go for 3 different ones.
Three different ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the full sensation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If it's pick and mix, yeah, absolutely. If you don't get a pick and mix and you don't feel slightly queasy after it, then you're not doing it right enough. That's right.
So you're from the Newcastle area, aren't you?
I am originally. Yes.
So do you support Newcastle United?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of their performance on Saturday there?
I thought it was good. I thought it was excellent. I thought really good goals.
Yeah, I watched the full game in the pub.
Did you? Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was kind of typical of Newcastle in the sense that they kind of were running the show and then suddenly let Southampton back into it, and you just think, all right, okay, this is going to go either way. But what was different, and what's different under Rafael Benitez, is that there wasn't a panic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is that there
is
still
looked
sense
really
of belief
assured,
and this real continuity and effort. And sometimes, obviously, that doesn't go the way that you think it's going to go. But what is different about Newcastle this season is there doesn't seem to be a panic. Mm-hmm. Even if, and it happens quite a lot, even if they're getting beat, they're still continuing to try and do the same things. And that's really Rafa's doing, I think. And on Saturday, that just came to fruition. And I thought all the goals were really good, really confident, really good wing play. And Almiron, who's come from the MLS, who's now actually injured, I thought he was sensational.
He is a fantastic player.
He just, I don't know, he gives this life and this speed to lots of different players, especially Perez.
He's like that creative spark that Newcastle have been needing for several seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I think he's very confident. And he's not scared. He's not frightened. He wants the ball all the time, and it's great to see. And it's really good for the fans because he absolutely loves to be there, which is great.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, John.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to call it.